Raila Odinga cuts the figure of an astute politician, constantly in the news headlines as he enjoys the trappings of power. The Premier spent Christmas at his rural home in Bondo. He flew to the lakeside town of Kisumu in a Kenya Air Force jet to a red carpet reception. Raila and his wife Ida were clearly in a joyful mood ahead of their Christmas break. The latest opinion polls showed him as the most popular candidate if a presidential election were to be held today.
Hakuna siku tena.
But beneath the veneer of that crafty politician opponents love to hate is an ordinary man, quite easy to get along with, switching easily between dealing with the high and mighty and ordinary folk. We arrived at his Opoda farm in Bondo on Christmas Eve. At 65 years of age, Raila, we were told, is an early riser. And as rays of sunshine burst through, the Premier was soon out and about. And just like he does every morning at 6, he's out in the cowshed. Meeting the Premier in gumboots at a rural farm was an indicator that this was another kind of news assignment altogether. The cows at Opoda farm have interesting names. Names like Ngilu, Fatuma, Lesos, Manduli, Wangari, etc. And the PM knows just how much milk each produces.
Ngilu produces 7 in the morning and 7 in the evening. So we get 14 out of her.
Raila's pages in the history books are not complete without the inclusion of his wife Ida. She regularly joins him during his outings on the farm. It is always a busy schedule that includes a meeting with his farm manager. Milk production here has improved tremendously. The last time Citizen TV visited the farm, milking was being done by hand. Now it is automated. Raila says his interest in farming has been strengthened by his upbringing. He then asked us to go along as he goes about inspecting the farm. He grows Rhodes grass and Napier grass, which provide the hay for the cattle feed. There's also a rich maize crop growing at Opoda farm. Most of it is for cattle feed. But occasionally, the Odingas do consume the fresh maize crop. The cattle feed here is made from the Napier grass and the maize, and it is stored in a special store. And the maize for human consumption in another granary. Raila says being a farmer puts him in a good position to understand the challenges farmers face.
You'll know, for example, what was the cost of cultivation, the cost of the price of seeds, the price of fertilizers.
Raila has declared his interest in the presidency come 2012 and says he's ready to battle it out with other opponents going for the top seat. But he values his time on the farm. This is his break from the topsy-turvy world of politics.
This is how I get thin from all the pressures of siasa, day to day, yes.
The Odingas are growing finger millet and a special type of sorghum, which they want locals to embrace for a better income.
Can be used by the breweries.
Yes.
Yes, and it looks like it's doing well.
It's doing well.
No, this is the dry season.
Raila has been vocal in his calls for eco-friendly living. For instance, he harvests all the rainwater collected on his sprawling farm in tanks like this one, and another one near his main house. The rest of the water comes from a main line and a borehole sunk on the farm. He also makes compost manure for his crops from the maize and other waste on the farm.
Hey, Bama, it's you not? Okay.
The vast farm is divided in two by a busy public road, and the Premier occasionally gets to meet locals fetching water from the farm. Other than the dairy cattle, there are indigenous cattle on the farm, as well as sheep and goats. The Bondo area is tsetse-fly infested, and tsetse-fly traps keep the disease-carrying pests at bay.
This is my cousin. This is my cousin.
After hours on the farm on Christmas Eve, the Premier bounces onto a pleasant surprise, a unique gift of a guinea fowl from a cousin, a bull too. Family relations are to the Odingas an integral part of life. Uncles such as his brother to the late Jaramogi Oginga Odinga and many others visit Raila. He may be a powerful office holder, but he remains true to his roots. The PM is also said to enjoy a special relationship with his children, including his son Fidel, who is said to be eyeing a parliamentary seat. The other children are Rosemary, Raila Jr. and Winnie. Away from the farmyard, the Odingas show me a treasured chapter in their history, a prefabricated house dating back to the days when Raila was detained by then-President Daniel Moi at the height of the single-party dictatorship. For Ida, it is a time she'd rather forget, but one she relives with ease. Raila had come home after 6 years in detention, only to be redetained almost immediately.
He was new to the children. Junior, who was 3 years old, was now 9 years old. The rest were older than, everybody was at least 6.5 years older than he left them.
Another day at the Opoda farm. Now this happens to be a special day, Christmas Day. A time to give and receive gifts. Ida plays host to relatives and friends as Bondo comes alive. The Odingas leave for a church service in Nyamira, Bondo, the ancestral home of the late Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. It is also homecoming of the greater Jaramogi family. The brothers of the late Jaramogi and other relatives gather for the Christmas feast here every year and also get to visit the Jaramogi Mausoleum. Raila is keen to introduce us to two members of the greater Jaramogi family.
The eldest uncle in our home, that is the Raila home. No, Odinga was son of Raila. And in the home, he is now the village elder. He's called Oteke. Huyu ndio bibi yake, mmoja ya bibi yake. Na huyo ni Mkamba. Kutoka huko upande ya Kilimambogo. Ndio yeye sasa ni mama yangu ambaye yako hapa. Yeye ndiye ananifundisha Kikamba.
He says intermarriage between the greater Jaramogi family and people from other tribes have made the family a melting pot of cultures. Understanding Odinga, the powerful politician, requires one to understand Odinga, the family man, and Odinga, the farmer. All part of making a composite picture of one of Kenya's most enigmatic politicians of all time. Abdi Osman, Citizen TV, Bondo.